With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
In this question, we have to select the pair which is correctly matched, and they are giving us the types of joints and their examples. So we all know that joints are a very important element in our skeletal system, and a joint is like a point of contact between two bones, and the type of articulation that is there between these two bones at the joint will determine what kind of movement is possible of these two bones with respect to each other. So we have many different types of joints throughout our body, and over here in the first option they're saying hinge joint. So hinge joint is an example of a synovial joint. Synovial joint means that both of the bones have a fluid between them called synovial fluid, and this allows for a variety of movements. This allows for considerable movement. So hinge joint is such a joint which we are going to find at many sites in our body, but the vertebrae are not the correct example of such a joint. Hinge joint we are going to find in our knee, in our elbow, all of these, which allows movement in a single plane. And between vertebrae we see that there are discs made of cartilage, so it is a cartilaginous joint between the successive vertebrae in our vertebral column or our backbone. So this is incorrect. Next they are saying gliding joint is between the carpals. Now this is a correct example. Gliding joint is again a kind of synovial joint, and it is found between the carpals, which means the bones of the wrist. So the unique kind of movement, the rotation that we can carry out with our wrist is possible because of such a gliding joint between the wrist bones. Next they're saying cartilaginous joint, skull bones. Now cartilaginous joint allows movement. We have just mentioned how the joint between successive vertebrae in our spine, in our backbone, is cartilaginous. But when we talk about the skull bones, the bones which make up the skull, that comprise the skull, are joined to each other in such a way that they show no movement. Obviously the skull appears as a single structure, and the different bones that make up the skull are not going to move. So this cannot be a cartilaginous joint. It is a fibrous joint where bones are fused end to end. They are forming sutures because of presence of fibrous connective tissue between them. And similarly, the fibrous joint is like an immovable joint, does not allow any movement, just like the joints between skull bones. So again, phalanges, that is the bones of our digits, the bones that make up our fingers, again don't have such a joint because we need to move our fingers, we need to use our hands for so many complex activities. So our only correct combination is option B. They are saying gliding joint we will find between our wrist bones. Apart from this, all of them have been given with the incorrect example. Correct example of hinge joint is sites like knee and elbow in our body, and between vertebrae we find the cartilaginous joints. Then again, between the skull bones we are going to find fibrous joint, the immovable joint, not cartilaginous ones. And between phalanges again we have the hinge joint and not an immovable fibrous one. So option B is our correct answer.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.